Hi everyone, good afternoon. So today we're going to be talking about Pro-Ready AEM, adapting content for LLM efficiency and AI search. So I'm Flavio Longato. I'm the SEO geostrategist at Adobe. I work within the AEM Sites Optimizer and LLM Optimizer team, and I'm here with...
I'm Sinem. I work with Adobe in the last 4 years. I'm a machine learning engineer. I would like to present you the agenda for today. We will tell you about GEO and some SEO foundations, and how we build LLM Optimizer, how the journey started from Sites Optimizer, and I will talk about some developer actions for you, and we will have a demo at the end. And with that, I give the stage back to Flavio.
Perfect, thank you. So what is Generative Engine Optimization, GEO? So let's ask ChatGPT, maybe it knows. So it is the practice of improving how content is discovered, interpreted, and surfaced by large language models and other AI systems. And so traditionally with SEO, we all know this, you do a Google search, your main objective is to rank, well, ideally first. With LLMs, it has changed. So people don't actually go to the website as much as they did before, right? So we're looking at brand mentions. How much is your brand is being mentioned and cited within the prompt? So this is the main goal, right? And SEO is still relevant. So SEO hasn't really changed. Of course, some aspects has, especially with AI and the spam part of it. But the fundamentals are still there. The content, the readability, right? The intent of creating a page is still the same as it was, but there are some differences. I think the main differences, of course, there are definitely some technical ones which Sinem will mention later on, but there are also some authoritative, right? So with SEO, it was all about the backlink, right? The link juice, the anchor text, what content is around that. And with LLMs, this has definitely changed. So it's definitely changed. So we're going to talk a bit about that in a few slides. So I'll start off with how we got here, right? So how did we come up with this idea of going to create a tool, the LLM optimization? So we started off, well, at least I started in Adobe in the beginning of the year with Sites Optimizer. So it's an AI-powered application that proactively identifies, suggests optimizations, and improves the performance of websites. So it is live. It's a great tool. So I'm the SEO and geo specialist, but it also covers many other things. So for example, we have a paid section where it monitors your paid traffic. We have a security section as well. But how do I, as a geo specialist, how do I understand what are the opportunities? How do I understand what I can improve? So this is where the learnings of Site Optimizer comes in. So I create hypotheses. So I have ideas on how to improve the visibility and the ranking of a website. It could be things like, let's add some content on the page, let's optimize the site structure, let's add some structured data, right? And these are hypotheses. And then what we do, we co-innovate. So we have some customers that we work together. And again, the co here is important. So they get our resources, they get our expertise, and we get their data, right? We can test, we can validate in the real world scenario. And if it's successful, we can scale it. We can create opportunities on Sites Optimizer. And what happened was, there was an eureka moment where we noticed that there was a certain opportunity that we found, which was to improve the featured snippet on a certain page. So featured snippet is this little box. It's in Google, which basically Google copies other websites and puts the content there, right? And now this has changed with AI mode, but we were able to get a very competitive term being shown here for our competitor. And 2 weeks later, the customer came to us and said, hey, we're actually getting a lot of referral traffic from a leading LLM tool. And then we noticed that SEO's opportunities actually had a direct impact on brand visibility. But we still needed more information, right? So we also needed to find a way, just like you did with Google, right? We had a way of understanding where your ranking is, right? You have all of these SEO tools that tell you your position over time. So we needed something like this as well. So we were missing this, the monitoring. And this is where the LLM visibility really comes in. So we created this tool, and we'll show a demo at the end. And yep, so Sinem will talk a little bit about how we actually built it in the first place.
So, as Flavio mentioned, we worked on the SEO-related opportunities with customers, and we saw that actually we could improve the LLM visibility by applying this SEO-related opportunities to them. So we thought about what if why don't we do the same thing to other customers we have? So what if we could build a tool to optimize LLM brand visibility for all our customers? Then before we jump into this, I would like to show you some stats. In August 2025, we saw 7.5 billion AI search visits, which is actually 150% more than compared to last year. And so nowadays, today, 8.2% of all the search traffic comes from AI search platforms. And the last one, which is a kicker, if Google adds AI overview section into the search results, we saw a 34.5% drop in the clicks of the first organic result, which is terrible. It means so even if you're doing great in SEO, if your brand is LLM, not LLM visible, your brand is actually invisible. With that, back to the LLM Optimizer. This started as an idea. We did a hackathon kickoff in June 2025, and in the same month, this idea is actually announced in Cannes as a product, and the next month, August 2025, we co-innovated with Adobe.com to develop this product. And less than 75 days, actually, we were ready for early access with 50 customers. And now we are here in around like 2 weeks, we will be GA or LLM Optimizer product. So I want to also talk about our customer Zero, Adobe.com, which taught us what worked and what didn't work while developing LLM Optimizer. So they for sure saw 200% increase in their visibility when they query Adobe.com or Acrobat related queries on LLM platforms after using LLM Optimizer hypothesis. And not only mentions, not only the visibility, but they also saw a 41% increase in their traffic, referral traffic coming from LLMs after this LLM Optimizer program was initiated. So it's actually a new age of getting the traffic. So this actually proved us that we could also navigate the real users to back to the site, not only LLMs. So on the left, you see how we started as an opportunity in Sites Optimizer for brand presence, we call. We were checking how the brand is doing in the LLMs in the beginning of the year. And on the right, you see from September 2025, it's now a product. Then you can see your brand in a dashboard. With LLM Optimizer, we let businesses can understand what their customers are asking, how they're seeing their brands showing up. And with that, they can monitor and increase their AI traffic as well. Flavio will be demoing it for further. So I want to show you the architecture simply. From left, you see we start with SEO tools. Customers are providing us some initial queries about the product/the brand. And we have agentic workflow in the very center of the product, which is getting the insight from the web search tools like ChatGPT, Google AI Overview, Perplexity, and so on. And we turn these queries into complex analysis, and as a result, we are showing it in the UI or on Slack, how we prefer. So please go ahead, Flavio.
Thank you, Sinem. So I'll talk a bit about why testing and validation matters, right? Especially something, LLM optimization, this LLM space is quite new. And there is a lot of news, there's a lot of information online about what to do, best practices. And my biggest worry was to actually go to a customer, give them an opportunity which is actually not real. Right? I think this is the biggest, especially for me as a marketeer, that's the worst case. So I'm very lucky that I am in Adobe and we have CDNs and we have a lot of data, right? So we can actually test with our own data, see how the LLMs are hitting the pages and hitting the service. So that's a way to create opportunities. But the best way for sure is this co-innovation that I said with Sites Optimizer. And I'll give you a very quick example. So I think many of you have probably seen this, or at least some marketing person has probably created a ticket at some point. Say, hey guys, we need to create this llms.txt file. It's promised to be the new robot/sitemap of LLMs. If we don't have this, we're not going to have any visibility, right? But it isn't so. So I looked at one of the top 1,000 AEM websites over the last 30 days, and almost didn't see any hits from any major LLMs. So this is just an example of this opportunity that we have to actually co-innovate and test before we actually give the recommendations to the customer.
So back to the technical stuff, I would like to also mention the importance of retrieval, because as you probably know about it, the LLMs are not only doing the content generation anymore, they also can search on the internet and use these searches while generating the answers. So with that, we have to know about RAG. RAG is how the LLMs are using external knowledge, retrieval augmented generation in long. Without RAG, you would see in your LLM output sometimes hallucinations, all the information / the training data, no citations at all, and not my data, not my customer's data. But with RAG, we have the grounded answers in sources / citations, and the answer is always up to date. And I can also see my data, my customer's data, alongside of the public data. In short, to summarize, RAG make the LLMs possible to use the search answers, and with that we have more up-to-date, grounded results. I wanted to give an example how RAG and SEO work together. So imagine you have this query, best PDF editor online, and when you type into your favorite search engine, you get the results. And in here I used Google, and Adobe.com is ranked in the top 10 results, which is good, because with that I know that LLM retrieves the Adobe.com content and uses this content to generate the LLM answer, because I know Adobe.com is retrievable. And you see in the bottom is the answer from ChatGPT. Adobe Acrobat is both mentioned and cited. So it shows only because Adobe.com was in Google, it was ranked, and we made the page rankable, retrievable. This is where the developers come in, how you make sure your customer web page is crawlable, retrievable, so that your brand cited and mentioned in LLM responses. First important thing is the crawl access. You should first of all allow LLM bots and robots.txt file. Check your logs to confirm crawlers are actually visiting, and avoid JavaScript only rendering. Crawlability. Bots need links, not just sitemaps. Avoid lazy load or infinite scroll. Use proper pagination. Ensure all pages are reachable. And page optimization. Use clear headers. Avoid empty headers. Add FAQ sections, if relevant, how-to sections in your content, and provide summaries. And also, if you do this, but you are still not sure if your content is crawlable by LLMs, one of our colleagues from Adobe, we are shouting out to Daniel here, created this tool, this Chrome extension, to check if your pages, if your website is crawlable by LLMs. So you can use this to be sure that you can get your LLM to retrieve your content. With that.
Perfect, thank you. So yes, so just trying to add everything together from this talk. So companies with a solid technical SEO background will definitely benefit, right? So we had a customer a few weeks back said, oh, we've done SEO for years and now we have to start from zero? Like, come on, it's not acceptable. So this is definitely not the case. So again, if you have a good foundation, if your pages are fast, accessible, the crawlers will hit it more often, just like with Google, now with the LLM bots. You'd have a higher chance of being retrieved, cited, and trusted. And again, because of RAG, the rankings still matter. So if you're not in the top 2 pages of Google, you have a less than 24% chance of being cited. And again, SEO is not dead, but rather it is more important than ever in an LLM world. So let's just see if everyone's paying attention. I have a quick SEO joke, sorry. Where do you hide a dead body? No one? On the second page of Google. And this is especially true now with LLMs, because as you saw, they will go, I think, less than 10% if you're ranking on page 2. And perfect. Oof, do we have time for?
Demo.
Demo? Okay. Okay, there you go. So perfect. This is the LLM Optimizer, and it's divided into a few parts. So for marketeers, this is definitely the most important part. This is where you monitor your prompts and the visibility, right? So every week we crawl the customer's prompts and we benchmark this over time. Here you can see the visibility, right? So this week you have a 14.83% visibility. How that's calculated, it's based on, again, we have certain crawls, so every week, we do a crawl. So what are the stages of coffee roasting? For this customer, this is very important. And we see that on the 8th of September, they were mentioned. So within the answer of the prompt, it is included there. And so what do you do next with this information? Okay, this week I'm not cited, so maybe I have to update the content on our website. Maybe I have to do certain actions. So this is where this information is important to them. They can also check their competitors and over time. With agentic traffic, here we see actually how the LLM bots are hitting the server, right? What is the success rate? Meaning here, for example, it's almost a 30% 404. So there's definitely something wrong here that the devs have to look into the logs and see why there are certain instances where the bot cannot see the content. We also have the referral traffic information. So these are users which are going to the LLMs and are clicking within a citation and then going to the website, right? You can see the bounce rates, if they're continuing on the page or not, the consent rate, so if there's a banner or a pop-up, how much are they consenting, and of course, the traditional things like top referrer, top regions, and last but not least, you can see opportunities. So as I mentioned, we co-innovated the customers to create these, and then we try to scale this with an agentic flow to all of the customers. So these are detections, for example, are you blocking the bot in your robots.txt or on your CDN level, right? Is there certain off-page things that you can do? Can you go into Reddit, for example? We've identified that people are talking about your competitors. Maybe you should go there, or Wikipedia. So these are the types of opportunities that we can show on LLM Optimizer.
So I think that's all.
Great. Thank you. A couple of questions for you. So one about the llms.txt. Could you elaborate a bit more if just having that would improve LLM visibility and citations?
Yeah, no, of course. So again, I cannot say if it proves or not, right? I can only say what the data said. And the data said that the LLMs did not even go there once, right? And again, we're talking about billions of hits to our servers. And so I'm coming up with the hypothesis is that if the LLMs are not actually going to the page, if they cannot see it, then they're not using it, right? So my opinion is that as of now, so September 2025, LLMs don't currently use it. But it could be in the future that they might.
Perfect. You also mentioned a lot about the co-innovation you've done with Adobe.com, right? So after all the work done, do you have the latest, like what the traffic search looks now compared to organic search versus LLM search?
We do, but I wish I could show you.
Okay. That's too bad. Okay. Another thing that was mentioned was that sites should probably avoid JS rendered content. So how is that being handled for client-side apps?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, of course, you should definitely avoid it. The problem is, it takes a lot of resources for crawlers to run JavaScript, right? It's the same as in Google before. Of course, Google now renders it and it's completely fine. But for every one page with JavaScript, they can crawl 100 without, right? So this is the main limitation here. At the moment, they don't render it, I think purposefully to save resources, right? There are things, so we are working on a product called, for example, LLM Optimizer on the edge, which basically will create a static version of the page. So we would render the page in like the browser would, and then we deliver this to LLM agents. Again, this is still under development. We don't have an ETA for this, but this could be an example. So you could use a renderer in this case, right?
Do we need a separate license to use LLM Optimizer?
Yes, so this is a separate tool. Unlike Site Optimizer, so it's AEM Site Optimizer, right? It's just for AEM. LLM Optimizer is for anyone. So any website, even not running AEM, can run it. And yes, because it's a standalone tool, you would need another license.
Okay. Yeah, I think that was it. Thanks again, and a huge round of applause.
Thank you.